one experience was actually I was a TA for teaching assistant for one of the science mods. Yeah, for 1 year. Yeah, so actually I applied quite a lot of social work skills to teach the students. Yeah, so but one memorable experience was this mod called Effective Altruism. Yeah, so this was the philosophy and economics mod, which I took with my dear friend Amalia. Yeah, so we were in the same group also. Effective altruism is about finding the most cost-effective way to increase the well-being of the world. Yeah, so they are mainly involved in 3 cost areas. So one is ending global poverty, ending factory farming, as well as the last one is long-term humanity risk. So this includes like climate change or AI alignment. Yeah, so one important framework that I learned was that they use this framework called the INT framework. Yeah, so it's importance, neglectedness, and tractability.
Here comes the theories.
Oh yes. It's a framework, yeah. So this is to assess like which cost area has the biggest impact. Yeah, so biggest impact or the most cost-effective way to increase the well-being of the world. Yeah. So importance, how you measure it is the scope of the issue, so the number of people affected by it, and the intensity that each person is affected by. So in other words, how much suffering it costs each person, or how much well-being is being denied from each person. Yeah, and then as for neglectedness, it basically refers to whether a lot of people is working on the issue or whether a lot of money is being pumped into the issue. Yeah, so if less people and less money, then it's highly neglected. And the last one is tractability. So tractability refers to how feasible it is to even solve this problem. Some problems there's no feasible solution to it. Yeah, so if it's high in tractability, high in importance and high in neglectedness, then it's a cost area that is worth looking into. Yeah. So I was wondering like how this can be applied to social issues and social policy matters also. Yeah.
Right. So obviously, because these other courses you can choose, right? And it sounds like maybe you chose this because it complements social work.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the name is called Effective Altruism, so it's like how to be altruistic in the most effective way. I was like thinking, oh, okay, this sounds like quite social worky. I don't know whether you felt that way also when you chose the mod. Yeah, like.
As in, I mean, I wouldn't dish out the theories, but I think when I was sitting in that mod, there were a lot of social work students, surprisingly. And then I just thought like, yeah, this is kind of like a social work mod. But I think interestingly, they combined economics frameworks with what we somewhat already learned in social work, which is somewhat like missing in our social work undergrad, at least because of the focus of our curriculum So I thought that complemented.
What you meant was the economic side that is not in the social work.
Okay. So I thought that really complemented well in terms of how do we put forth interventions in a practical way, but at the same time benefiting a lot more people than we possibly can right now. The one thing that I was very grateful for the NUS experience was being able to join societies and form my own communities. So for context, Donna and I were in a society of social work students, and it's just a very wholesome and warm community that allowed me to feel so much more at home in NUS and in the social work department as well. And I think anywhere that you go and anyone that you ask in the social work cohort, at least you would say, I can guarantee you that at least 70 to 80% would say that the community is what has been the biggest takeaway for them. So I think my NUS experience, in terms of my student experience at an undergrad level, has definitely got to be the community I found through all these activities outside of learning in classrooms. Yeah,
that's nice. Yes, yeah, because your education is not just in the classroom, not just taking classes. It's the whole package, right?
Yeah, I think to add on also, you meet a lot of like-minded people who care about social issues, which actually maybe not everyone would care about. Yeah, and it's quite interesting to like bounce ideas with them, and it actually refines your understanding, and you might even change some of your previous opinions also just by discussing with your peers.
I was from NUS College, so I took a different basket of modules, and one of the modules was called Impact Experience. So you can either do a project locally or like regionally. So I was working with a stateless group in Thailand, Chiang Mai, and the group of students involved were across like the different faculties, right? So I was the only social work student, and I was grouped up with like computer science majors, life science majors as well, and also a data analytics student. And so we all have very different interests, very different strengths, and we had to come up with something that worked towards the goal of trying to address poverty through value-added product. And the product was solar-dried banana. So I'm not like a cook, right? And
so
like
nice.
It's so like nice. A very, very different like world or like different field. And so I think I was a bit challenged at the beginning, like how do I as a social work student like what do I bring to the table? Because a computer science student can do like website development, right? But for a social work student, I was trying to see like what is tangible, or do I even have to create something tangible? Yeah, but I think what social work taught me that was helpful was things from like 3105, right? Our perspective towards communities that are different from us, communities that are considered, I guess, struggling in some sense. How do we approach them? Do we come with our top-down approach that we are so used to taking, or do we go down and like, I guess, live with them, experience life together with them, and hear from their narratives? So I think we, through that lens, initiated a lot of like participatory action research, PR. Yeah, so lived with them and then interviewed them a lot. So many interviews. I think they got tired in the amount of interviews, but really helped us to see, okay, what is really the issue at hand? How do we help support them, but also not like impose our own narratives on what progress looks like? And so I think as a group, as a whole, we also learn how like, I guess, seeing change in a slow process and seeing change differently, not according to our definitions, but theirs, is very important. So 2 takeaways from that. One is that social work or social issues is not just a social worker's problem. I think it's very, very important to work collaboratively with different disciplines. I think together we can innovate and really do great things to effect change. Another one is that human relationships are fundamentally the most important in the social work, like working relationship. Without that human relationship, I don't think you can go as far. Yeah, so really building that connections on the ground. Yeah,
I couldn't have said that better. Yeah, so Donna, I really want to affirm your contribution to this group project, because for me also, having done policy level work as well as program level work with people that are not social work trained, often I do see a missing piece when we don't take the perspective of the clients or the people that the product or the policy or program is supposed to benefit. And this is so key that in social work we are trained in that way to be able to engage the people who are the beneficiaries, recipients, right? And bring their voice to the table. It's very key. Otherwise, what's the point? You come up with this, what's called, dried
solar
banana?
dried banana.
Solar dried banana. And then do they really want it? Does this really help them, right? Yeah.